What's happening, guys? We're back. It's time to get started on stopping. All right, so last episode we got the car running, which was a huge achievement. I'm still super pumped about that. Since then, I've actually ran the car up to temperature, which is difficult because I don't have a temperature gauge. So I've just been using my little laser gun there to check the water temperature on either side of the thermostat. Thermostat popped at like 180 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty normal. Ran the car up to temperature. Thermostat popped. We got all the crud from the engine block because it's been sitting without coolant. It's just been rusting. Got all that coming through the radiator, so we're gonna have to do a couple of flushes of the coolant system, which we kind of knew going into this. What else did we do? Oh, we got the fan to kick on. So we know the fan relay and the temperature sensor for the ECU is working. So that's awesome. So running, that we can kind of put to bed. There is a little bit more work that we need to do on it. I got a small oil leak. We'll fix that later. So if you guys remember at the start of 2021, we laid out some goals, which were running, registered, and stopping. We clearly have the running one down pat. The registered one, we're gonna put that on hold for right now. Just with the current COVID pandemic situation, I think it'd be best if we don't bother getting a stranger in here to knock a VIN number into the chassis when it's really not holding us back in any way, shape, or form. So we're gonna put that on the back burner. We're gonna focus on stopping. We're gonna be doing the brakes going forward. So rear brakes are basically done. We rebuilt the calipers, got new discs, got a new parking brake system in there. That end is pretty well finished. Front end needs some work. We got calipers and mounts and everything from a junkyard. I've spent the last week or so wire brushing those off, getting them prepped, painting them. The paint's gonna burn off the first time they get hot anyhow, but whatever, it'll look cool while it's sitting in my garage. So painting those up. I got some caliper rebuild kits. So today we'll rebuild the calipers. I've also went and got a whole bunch of fittings so that we can start plumbing the car. Plumbing the brake system. We're gonna be running hardline for the most part, which means that we gotta do some bending, we gotta do some flaring, we got some adapters to let us run some different lines and stuff like that. So we gotta do all that. I don't know if we're gonna get into that yet today, but let's get the calipers rebuilt for the front, get those mounted on the car, and then see what we got left for time. All right, we are ready for assembly. We got our calipers are all loaded. Pretty simple job. We reused our old pistons because they look pretty good. So the rebuild really was just replacing the little O-ring and the bellow seal in there. That bellow seal is a pain in the butt. I'm sure however it came off on camera was not half as hard as it was to get it in there because I only filmed half of it. That was a real pain in the butt, but I managed to get those in there. So those are ready to go. And then we went through all the hardware and made sure that was all ready to go. We cleaned up all the bolts. We chased the threads on our bleeder screws because they're always exposed to the brake fluids. So they tend to corrode really bad. So we just chased those threads real quick. If you're doing this at home, I highly recommend buying a rebuild kit and a hardware kit. So the rebuild kit came with the seals for the calipers. The hardware kit comes with like all of these little anti-rattle brake pad holder thingy-majiggies, which you always end up losing. So it comes with those. It also comes with, on this model, on the RX8, it's got the little slider pins, and they have a little bellow seal on them, or a little, I don't know what you call that. So it came with those for the pins, and it also came with something that I never even knew existed. So these are the two pins that support the caliper. This one's got this little rubber thingy-majiggy on it. It's like a buffer or something. I didn't even know that existed until I bought the hardware kit and actually took a look in there, and it came with replacements. So that, I think, is just meant to prevent rattle, because obviously if you had two steel pins, there'd be a little bit of slop in there. So we replaced those. We cleaned up all the bolts. We ran a file around all the edges of the bolts, because especially on these big ones where you tend to do them up really tight, your wrench tends to slip, or somebody that was in the junkyard before you threw an open end on it or something, and it'll round off these edges and it'll kick up little burrs. So we just ran a file around all the edges, knocked off all those burrs, made them ready to go. So we're ready to assemble. We can only assemble one side because one of my caliper brackets is still in paint, and I don't want to deal with that. So we'll assemble one side, get it on the car, see how it looks. All right, those look great. Came together nicely, didn't have too many issues putting them together. I will have to assemble the second one off camera throughout the week because the caliper bracket is still drying. So I'll do that throughout the week. And then next time I see you guys, we'll get rolling on plumbing. I think I have about 90% of the fittings that I need to plumb the entire brake lines and the clutch line. I'm still waiting on some tube nuts because nobody stocks tube nuts apparently. But yeah, so that's the plan. We'll get rolling on plumbing. I got some pretty interesting things that we're gonna be doing on there, including some like AN conversions and stuff like that. But that'll be the plan. I am also doing a little bit of math on the braking system because I fear that we bought the wrong size brake master cylinders. I think I made the mistake of thinking that we only had one master cylinder, but we have two. So I think they're about double the size that they should be. So we're gonna do the math on that. I'll let you guys know what I find. At the end of the day, we'll still be able to get the car moving with those master cylinders, even if they are wrong. I might just have to size them down so that I can stop abruptly. But that's all I got this week, you guys. I'm completely out of time. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. Go check us out on Instagram, Left Foot First Media. Man, I'm forgetting everything today. Left Foot First Media, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm out of here.